and so excited to share with you the topic of this conversation, which is how I consciously created $1 million. And it feels really crazy to share that, and also really exciting. The reason it feels really crazy to share is because I don't always claim it. And so I'm doing this today to really challenge you. Where are you not claiming your power, and where are you not claiming your ability to be a conscious creator? So where are you kind of holding back? Now, if you're like me, you might think that there are things that are like way more important than money, and things that are way more valuable. And we're going to talk about that too, because I definitely feel that way as well. There's like a deeper meaning, right? There's a deeper layer and a deeper reason why we create what it is that we're creating. So again, if you're watching, if you give me a little like, a heart, I do want other members of this group to be able to see this live. I want them to be able to benefit from the information that I'm going to share with you in this live. And I'm really going to encourage you to step further into your soul purpose, into your gifts, into the reason that you're here, and really call it in. So you might have seen some of the questions that I've been asking this week. What is your soul purpose? What amount of money are you calling in? And I'd love for you to share that with me. And this can be like, what amount do you want to call in maybe in the next month or in the next 30 days? Because it is really good to give a time limit to the amounts that you are calling in. Okay, so I can see the live video, and I'm going to continue with this training. So I'm going to talk about how you can literally call in any amount that you want to call in, and you can create any amount that you want to create. Now, you might need to do it step by step. So the headline of this video, how I consciously created $1 million, and you can too, is I just want to share with you how I did that in my mid to late 20s and my early 30s. So I first called that number in. Hi, Haley. Thank you so much for watching. So I first called that number in by investing in real estate. And the way that I did it was, it's really crazy. And this is why I want to share that, like, you can totally do it too. So I was working in education. I was actually working part-time as an art teacher. And on the side, to make extra money, I did like private tutoring, and I also sold my original art, and I sold products that I designed. So if you've seen my videos on product design and on how to sell original art and how to sell paintings, that is what I was doing in my mid to late 20s and my early 30s. So over a decade, what I did is my first property, I bought it in 2011, and very little money down, all money that I'd set aside from my business endeavors, from being an entrepreneur. And I just set this little chunk aside, and I was able to invest in my first property. And from there, I then 2 years later invested in my second property, 2 years later invested in my third property. Now you might wonder why I was like doing it every 2 years. And it's because if you know about the income of a part-time art teacher, it's not necessarily a lot of money, right? So I wasn't like super wealthy at the time, but I was super intentional about how I created money. So I was doing like private tutorings, I was teaching private art lessons, I was selling my original art, I was designing products. I designed products for Sheraton Hotel Group. They actually commissioned me to design something for a hotel in Colorado. So every amount, hi Pooja, nice to see you. Every amount that I got, I basically kind of was pretty intentional about how I was investing it. And I had this aha moment, right? So I didn't come from money. I didn't come from a family that had a lot of money, but I did have inspiration, and I had somebody that inspired me. And the person that inspired me was actually my grandmother. And she didn't have a huge real estate portfolio or anything like that. But she did, like, every house that she moved into, she would fix it up with like bare bones, like just the bare bones. She would fix it up and then she would sell it and move into the next property, right? So I saw her doing that. And then my own father was very handy. And so he taught me like a lot of stuff, like about how to be handy around the house. And I always saw him like ripping up his own floors and refinishing his own floors. And so at the time, I was also doing part-time interior architectural design for like families in West Los Angeles, like on the West Side. And I was doing like their kitchens and their baths. And I was actually doing that part-time. So I was like really, really hustling. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I've been a business owner for a really long time. And I was getting clients and taking clients for about 8 years. And I guess my aha moment was, why don't I use my creativity, right? And why don't I use my intellectual, abilities to create something like this for myself? So all said and done, now we're free and clear. And if we sold the 3 houses today, we would have $1 million, which is amazing because that doesn't include the house that we live in here in Los Angeles. And the reason that I'm telling you this is because not only that, but I've created programs and courses and products and original art and all these other things that are now assets in my business, right? So I have the freedom when I wake up every day to decide what I get to do with my time. So I want to take this a little bit deeper and I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. What would you do? And I was thinking about this today, like, what would you do if you won $1 million today? If you just had that cash in hand, or you won $5 million today, say you won the lottery. So I love this question. What would you do if you won the lottery today? And the reason that I'm asking it is because it's a really deep question. It really reveals something about where our passions lie, right? So like over the past 5 years, I've created courses, profit from workshops. I've run a business growth mastermind. I have an e-course called Watercolor for Relaxation to really help people relax and like awaken their creative energy and their creativity. I have run a group program called Intro to Sustainable Fashion, where I've inspired people to have a better, more meaningful connection to the clothing that they wear and how it like really impacts the planet. I've even been asked to lecture on sustainable fashion at the university level. So I literally feel like my purpose right now at this moment in time is to help people align with their inner abundance, because it all comes and it all manifests from that inner alignment and that abundance within, whether it's an abundance of creativity, an abundance of whatever that purpose is, whatever that meaning is for you that you really, really connect with. Okay. So whether you want to create courses for people, whether you want to create a group program, whether you want to, I've made up to 10K from a single workshop. Okay. So whether you want to make workshops happen or private lessons, like what's the reason? So what is your why? And what's the reason that you really want to do that? And if you're open to sharing, I would love it if you would share that in the comments with me. So maybe you want to be the first person in your family to make $1 million. Maybe you want to really make an impact. And that's like where we go into the deeper layers for having the money. So what would I do with my time, right, if I had $1 million? And the answer to that is I would wake up every day. I would do something creative. I would like literally share my creativity. I would paint. I would run group programs. I would raise the awareness around sustainability and sustainable living. And I would raise awareness around conscious living, that we get to be the conscious creators of everything that we can imagine, right? So anything that we can imagine in our mind, we can start to then dream it into reality. And that's a real superpower that we all have. We just have to figure out what it is that we want to dream up. And why do we want to dream it up? And why do we want to share it, right? I would run global retreats, something that I'm doing in Greece in September. So wouldn't it be cool to help even more people to experience joyful living? And wouldn't it be exciting to help more people tap into this inner abundance and their own inner ability to imagine and create their wildest, most incredible dreams, right? So let me hear from you. I want to hear more about how you are living out and fulfilling your life purpose. And if you're perhaps reimagining or redreaming, I want to encourage you there too, because as you can see, my life and my career has gone through an entire evolution, an entire actually expansion into the next level. And as conscious creators, we're constantly shifting and changing and reimagining things. So I'm going to check out the comments and see what you guys are writing in. Amazing. Hi, Pooja. The power of intentions. And thank you so much, Haley. I'm so happy to have you. And Dawn, amazing. I intend to help individuals break the chains of addiction and trauma. I love that, with creativity and mindfulness. That is huge. So it's like, how can we, as women, as these conscious creators, really like affect change on the planet? And that's giving me chills just thinking about it. Like, how can we affect change on a global level? So I was a little bit shy about sharing this just because it's like sometimes it feels scary to step into, your passion and your purpose, and to really claim that, and to really realize your own personal power and how powerful you absolutely and actually are. So with all of that said, I just want to thank you for taking time and for watching. I have had it on my heart for a little while. I haven't been running a mastermind continuously, but I've been receiving a download. And if any of you are like me, when you're like receiving a download, you're like, is it complete yet? Like, has the vision completely dropped in? It has now completely dropped in. And I'm going to be running like a 3-month mastermind this summer for abundant creators who want to consciously create and who are really ready to expand into that next level of awakening, of consciousness, and yes, money, abundance, what it is, that deeper level of soul alignment and soul fulfilled purpose. So if that speaks to you, please drop the word abundant creator or creator into the chat, and I'll put you on like the notifications list. Like basically when I do share about it, you'll get a notification. And please let me know your biggest takeaway from this live training. And thank you so much for watching.